is FCT Brief, a segment of TVC Breakfast Show, reaching you live from our Abuja studio. The Senate has announced plans to work closely with the executive to address social-political tension, particularly the crisis in Rivers State. According to a statement issued ahead of resumption of plenary at the National Assembly, leader of the Senate, Senator Nwebonye, stated that the goal is to reconcile key stakeholders and resolve underlying issues in the broader interest of national stability and reconciliation across the country. The statement added that as lawmakers resume, first on the agenda is the further consideration of the tax reform bills 2024. The lawmakers agree that the passage has become imperative to reform the country's tax regime and shore up revenue of the Federation. This also helps governments at all levels to implement projects and deliver the dividends of democracy to Nigerians.
The Senate also raised concern over the resurgence of insecurity in states such as Benue, Borno, Katsina, and Plateau. In light of this, Senator Bamidele underscored that the legislature will intensify consultations with security agencies to develop new strategies aimed at tackling terrorism and restoring peace across affected regions. During the recess, the presidency announced several appointments, including officials of the South-South Development Commission. The Senate is expected to begin screening these nominees in the coming days. Senator Bamidele concluded by highlighting the importance of several pending bills that touch on strategic sectors of the economy, noting that the Senate will fast-track their passage and encourage public participation through committee hearings. To walk us through the itinerary of the Senate and what Nigerians should expect from the National Assembly in the coming days, let's speak with the Senate Deputy Whip, Senator Nwebonye. Thanks for joining us at the studio.
Thank
you for having me.
Nice. It's good to have you, Senator.
Now, let's start this way. While you were on recess, we had crises in some states, Benue, Plateau, Zamfara, and all that. Now you're back. What's going to be the priority in dealing with this crisis? I know you were going to talk to the service chiefs, but what kind of assurance do you want to give to residents of these communities that are living in the IDP camps?
Well, thank you so very much for this wonderful opportunity. Let me start by saying that it's regrettable that while we are commending the security agencies for curbing insecurity in Nigeria, but recently we started experiencing the resurgence of this anomaly, particularly in the northern part of the country, precisely in Benue State. You can see what is happening in Benue. A few days back, about 50-something were killed, and it's not very, very palatable. We as Parliament, we cannot fold our hands because, like you know, we represent Nigerians, and anything that affects an ordinary Nigerian should be our concern, as an institution. So going that way, we have in mind to kind of, have an overhaul view of the whole scenario, all geared towards coming up with policies and programs that will actually guarantee the safety of all Nigerians in every part of the country. So in doing that, we have in mind to call for a very elaborate security summit, wherein the security chiefs and other security experts can come and actually, talk and let us find a lasting solution to this nagging problem. In knowledge of the fact that our duty primarily as government, both the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary, is to ensure protection of life and properties. That is fundamental, and that is key and number one. So we must declare state of emergency in this security sector, because we are not happy that Nigerians are being killed on a daily basis. And as responsible government, we are going to tackle it headlong.
Well, Senator, it's not the first time that we are seeing security summits being held, especially by the National Assembly. What assurance would is the National Assembly giving Nigerians now that, resolutions made are going to be adopted and acted upon? And as well, for the Well, I would like you to just first answer that question before I move to another question.
Well, it may be correct to say that this is not the first time the National Assembly is calling for a security summit, but I know very well that for the 10th Senate, this is the first time we are calling for such a meeting. And like you know, and I've always told Nigerians, the 10th Senate is a corrective Senate. We are out to do things differently. This is not the time to talk and the ends there. No. When we talk, we follow it up. In fact, we'll have an ad hoc committee on Senate that has to do with following up our resolution to ensure their speedy compliance by the targeted agencies. So this is going to be different. It's not going to be business as usual. We are going to work on any resolution that we may come up in the course of this summit. In no hands of the fact that this is a bleeding truth. And nobody can, deny it. And we have all it takes as government, just like we promised Nigerians in 2023, the course of our campaign, that we are going to bring insecurity, to be a thing of the past. And going by the provisions made, in the budgetary provision for our security agencies, you can see that President Tinubu is actually out, to fight insecurity. But this is an enemy of human being. So we must all, join hands to fight this, and assure Nigerians that in no time the insecurity will be a thing of the past. Well,
you're saying that it is no longer going to be business as usual. So what kind of accountability system should we expect to be put in place to, monitor these security agencies to ensure that, this issue is nipped in the bud?
Well, we are going to use all the avenues, including oversight. Like I said here, we've made a lot of budgetary provisions for the security agencies, which we don't make public for security reasons. So we expect that having done that, the security agencies should do their own part by making sure that Nigerians, are fully protected. And in the forthcoming summit, if there are any areas the security agencies want government, to give them more support, that will be made public, and we are going to advise the executive accordingly, all geared towards making sure that Nigeria all over is safe.
All right.